Welcome to the Hospo Hustle. I've decided after 12 years in the industry of hospitality, to start my own podcast. I'm called the Hospo Hustle, so welcome. The podcast, it's about hospitality and entrepreneurship. The wins, the losses, the romantic stories that, everyone wants to know about with hospitality, but mainly about the real grind behind this industry. So each week, I'll be sitting down with owners, bartenders, chefs, people from my own team, real estate agents at commercial lease hospitality venues out, builders, DJs, and industry as a whole. I'm very excited. It's something I've been thinking about for close to a year now. I'm about doing this. A lot of umming and ahhing about, do I do it, do I not? But I've ultimately decided to share my story and hopefully, give people a bit more of an insight to hospitality. Yeah, my name's Dilan. I'm the owner of Mr. Main, where we're currently filming. So this is my restaurant. I've been in the industry for 12 years. 6 of those years, I have actually owned my own venue spaces. So half in as an employee and half as a owner operator. So I have a pretty interesting story, I believe. I'll do different episodes where I'll kind of go more into it about different aspects of my career. I just want to keep this one light, an intro, give you a little taste of what's to come. Next episode, we'll have a guest on the podcast. Before this episode, I thought for the intro, I actually asked my staff for 5 questions that they would ask me. What these will kind of relate to will be, I guess, mainly about Mr. Main. That's the restaurant that we have operating right now. A little bit about the first venue I opened up, which I'll get more into in a later date. But that was called Dirty Sultan. It was a rooftop bar and nightclub. So the first question, how did I get into hospitality? So I guess hospitality, I never really thought about it. Like I want to be in hospitality. It was more so just 20 at the time, no, 19 turning 20, and I was a bit lost in life at that time. Like what do I do? I think I was working at Coles, that checkout boy. So I was doing that. I'd been at Coles for like 7 years, and I guess, I was like, what do I do? Do I study? But I wasn't really passionate about anything. A friend of mine that was working at the casino at the time, that we worked at Coles together too, and went to high school together. And he suggested that the casino was hiring maybe just a switch up of like a casual job. That's all it was for me. And then, yeah, I went to the interview. I actually nearly didn't do the interview. I remember going to the interview and there was like 100 people there and you had to like speak in front of everyone. I'm like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. So I remember like walking out of the interview before it started, called my mum, who was pretty eager for me to do something at the time. And she's like, just do it. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to talk in front of all these people, embarrassing. But I did it. And yeah, I guess 12 years later, sitting here, still in the industry. So that was my first job, working at the Treasury Casino in Brisbane. Probably the job I enjoyed the most, being an employee. It was very had a lot of benefits and I liked it. You learn a lot from a place like working at the casino. I didn't know it at the time. I was just kind of having fun at the time. But yeah, you do learn a lot from a big operation like that. I started as a glassy, just literally picking up glasses in the bar there. Bar back, you learn a lot. So that was something that really gives you a strong foundation of understanding hospitality, especially how bars work, obviously. Went to Europe, did the European trip for 3 months, did a little stint living in London for six months with one of my close friends from high school and worked in a bar there, like most people do when they go travel, working holiday. And I guess that was the turning point in my mind for, yeah, wanting to open my own restaurant or at the time bar. I had been in the industry at that point for about 3 years. So a bit of time, but still really early days. Yeah, I guess seeing what they were doing over there, not just in London, all the different countries that we went to, I guess obviously I was in a good mood on the holiday, but I remember a lot of those bars, but mainly yeah in London, and just thinking like, I wish Brisbane could have something like this or have like the offering wasn't necessarily better. It was just I don't know the vibe and the feeling. Obviously a bigger city, a bit more happening, but I wanted to kind of bring that feeling of what I was feeling there and where I was working to I guess here to Brisbane where I live. So I came back and actually did a little stint at Biblos, Hamilton. So that was only a short stint there, but I had some great mentors there that really knew what they were doing. And I kind of understood at that point there was a bit more to this than just making a drink. There's a bit more understanding and a bit more technique and finesse to things. So I really kind of learned it from there. I think I just came back from my holiday and I was pretty eager just to take it easy, I guess, which sounds weird. Come back from a holiday, ended up going back to the casino for another couple years, which was nice. I was comfortable there. Just kind of got my feet under me again, and kind of like, yeah, I definitely want to open my own bar. So now you're going on to like your fourth, fifth year in the industry, going to work at Cloudland for about a year and a half, maybe just over, which was a good experience as well. Another big venue that you learn a lot from. But I was really in that time really searching for places for my own space. And then, yeah, that's kind of the story of me. How did I get into the industry? Like, I fell in love with the industry. Mainly, I fell in love with like, it's a very intoxicating industry. There's a lot of passion. You kind of get addicted to like the hustle, the bustle, the feeling of what a good venue can do for you. You always feel happy, and seeing people happy in your workplace is good. I actually did a couple stints in other industries. I tried like a personal training. I did like a TAFE course. I didn't like it. No offense to anyone who does it. Good on you. I just couldn't do it. Real estate, I gave a little crack at that. Again, wasn't for me. And yeah, hospitality was for me. The second question, when did I decide to open my own venue? I've kind of already answered that one. But yeah, the turning point was when I was overseas. And they've actually put a little note here, fear versus excitement, they asked. At the time, I was like 27, so I was definitely more excited. I think what I know now, I'd be a bit more fearful. But yeah, I was more excited than anything. At the time, what I thought, like, get to have my own place, get to make my own product, get to be your own boss. But you slowly realize kind of, yeah, it goes a different way, but in a good sense. Question 3. What was the difference between my first venue, which was Dirty Sultan? That was a nightclub. And my current venue, Mr. Vane, which is a upmarket restaurant. There's a lot to unpack in this question. They're very different. The different businesses, essentially. Like Dirty Sultan was a bit more of a machine. Um, it was a nightclub, essentially. We never opened it to be a nightclub, but with anything, it's going to go where it wants to go, and you kind of got to let it go that way. So yeah, Dirty Sultan was a huge part of my life. A lot had happened there. I was there for 5 years before the lease ran out, and then ended up re-signing and doing a different thing a different concept in that space. But yeah, Dirty Sultan was a nightclub. It had functions. It opened at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and it closed at 3 a.m. that night, that next morning. So, talking about 13-hour trade day. And yeah, it was mainly about drinking and people getting lit, having fun, DJs. The music was the big aspect there. Where Mr. Vane is a restaurant. It's an upmarket restaurant. So shorter operation, like we open at 4:45 p.m. and close at 10 p.m. So it's a lot shorter of a trade, but I think it's, in my opinion, I think a bit harder. Restaurants, you always got to be on. They're a lot less forgiving than a nightclub. I enjoyed both. I'll always have a special place in my heart for Dirty Sultan. It was my first venue. It changed my life so much. But Mr. Vane is really, there's what I was saying, it's like my baby. And I feel very attached to this restaurant. Yeah, I love it. And it's kind of very, very me. It was kind of made for, where would I want to go? And yeah, that's Mr. Vane. And we have a lot of things that we do here. We do jazz. It's a Pan-Asian restaurant. When we first opened up Mr. Vane, it was like a European bistro. Really, really excellent food. And then, it's more, again, like how Dirty Sultan morphed into a nightclub. This is morphed into now opening from a Euro bistro to a Pan-Asian, still really upmarket food and live jazz. So we never ever had that in the concept of planning when we were opening up Mr. Vane, but that's where it's gone, and it's really, really good. It's a great point of difference for us, and I think Mr. Vane is a really special place. So I'm very proud of that, about this restaurant. But yeah, the difference between them, both hard, both very challenging, but yeah, just different businesses. One, it's more systems, more operation, more like just getting people through the door and security guards, DJs, happy hour specials, that kind of things. What event are we going to do? And where Mr. Vane, the restaurant, is more, yeah, I guess quality, the finesse. It's a different style. We're thinking more about our product. There's more thought into this than, not more thought, there's more focus on the product in a restaurant. But yeah, what's challenged me more was definitely, hard to say, but yeah, I think definitely Mr. Vane it's made me mature as an operator a lot more than Dirty Sultan did. I think that's the truth. Question 4. What's something I've learned over 12 years of being in the industry? I always thought like a good idea will just trump everything. It's a good idea. People come. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, you need some time as being a business owner to understand that. I think only time really teaches you that. And I guess understanding your offering, really understanding what you want, and I guess learning how to work with a team. That's a big thing to have success in this world with any business, I guess. Question 5. What do I love most about hospitality? Probably the chaos in a good way. It's never the same. I think why I struggled in some of those other avenues I tried early on in my life, it felt like I was doing the same day a lot. I'd go to the same spot, which I mean, you do here as well, but go to the same spot and kind of have the same day planned out and have to be there at a certain time every day. I think I was really struggling with that. I suck at structure. I'm really live on my own clock, which is bad sometimes. I got to get better at that. But yeah, I love the, I guess, controlled chaos. Like everything's different. Every day there's a different challenge, different problem to solve. I definitely get tired. And I guess where we are now, we're coming out of a pretty crazy 2025. With what happened to one of our restaurants from a natural disaster cyclone. We actually lost our restaurant in that event. But I'll go through that in a different episode. But yeah, I guess the problems they stack up, and there is a lot to kind of deal with. So it does get overwhelming, but I do love the, I guess, yeah, like what's going to happen today? What am I going to have to solve? What am I going to have to do? And yeah, like I guess at this period right now it's a bit tiring and it's a lot, but I still essentially at the end of the day, like I still love it. I still get out of bed feeling pretty excited to what's going to happen. Stressed 100%, but ultimately it gets me going in the morning to know what's not to not know what's coming that day. That's a little bit of an intro, tiny little bit about me. And if I could give advice to someone else and to my younger self as well, just believe in yourself. It's very important. You have to kind of have almost delusional belief sometimes, be a bit crazy. And that's really how you're going to get somewhere. You have to believe in what you're doing and mainly yourself. You go into start trying to start a business, to build a business, but you're really building yourself. And once you build yourself and you're confident in yourself, everything else will follow.